Nia soto, shiami hilaki tarasho, sianaliano tiabakote, shisavi se sinati, serokotoreshe, sina ilaki, sumoshote i naniatoroku, ashane halakotarevasho, rohune, kiatarvashose, se shanotareke, alate isana, satoreke, lasha, ni na 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 na, kolakopatoro kosha, italisa, anate. Anate.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוות וציוונו להדליק נר של שבס.
Niasata shiamnita ila kasanasate. Niashote ilahi inaniata ilakasofoso soniti ilakashanose alahalakete niasho ulahilakisnasete. Lihalakono ilakisanose ti ilakishanase ete alahala luyamolo rukoshese. Good day, good love, good light, and welcome to Goddess Fridays. Gods, goddesses, guardians of Gaia. Thank you all for being with us today as we embrace our multidimensionality and bring the energies of the gods and goddesses, relics, artifacts, all that we use as the tools to connect with all that we are. We have much to share with you today. Thank you for joining us with Languages of Lights. I'm Wendy, this is Dave, and we are here to help you guys all get your gods and goddesses on. So thank you all for joining us today. If you would like to join us here in our Zoom room, please do. You do not need to dress up to hang out with us, but we recommend it, we request it, but you don't have to. It's just part of sharing the energy and enhancing the excitement. And really that's what this is all about. And one of the things I was going to start off talking with all of you about today, after we cover a couple of other things, is how we feel when we move into a costume, how we embrace these exceptional parts of ourselves that already exist within us, that show us our courage, our strength, our bravery, nothing that we don't already possess, but that which we already have within us. And if ever was a time, would be now, when we need to be reminded of the power that we already have within us, within our thoughts, our beliefs, our words, and how we use these energies of the gods and goddesses, artifacts, relics, oracle readings, animal spirit guides, crystals, blessings, prayers and intentions, candles and incense, all of it. It's a way to connect with all that we are. And we invite all of you to join us. The link to join the Zoom room here is in the link in the comments on my website. The Zoom room link is right there for all of you to jump in the room. So please do join us. And I'm going to check really quick to see if we've got anybody hopping in the room. And I wanted to thank all of you. I was just checking to see who was out there today. So hi Blue Star, just wanted to say hi. Jody, Reiki Medium, good to see you, girl, too. And Sacred Geometry, Angela, Florentine, hi. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. And let's see, we've got a couple of attendees waiting to hop in the room here. So let me just get you guys in here. And there we go. And Stefan, hello, hello, hello. Hi guys, everyone. And do, woo! I just dropped my tablet. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Thank you for interacting with us in the chat and all of your comments from the last couple of weeks. You guys have been amazing. Sorry, I'm kind of been flying around today. That's one of the things we wanted to talk about too, was there's so much to share with you guys about this today. And part of it's about flying. It's about this idea of, we've got the wings here. We've got the idea of that gods and goddesses in general, when we get our superpowers, right, we fly. And so that's one of the things that we were talking about superpowers, flying, magic, movies, television. And one of the things, now I'm in, okay, so let me start by saying, in continuation with the goddess energy, Diana, if you followed us last week, we talked about Diana and that energy, and we wanted to follow up with that a little bit more with the idea of Diana and Wonder Woman. And if you guys have been watching me for a little while, I've always been known a little bit as Wendy Wonder, my world of wonder, because everything is a wonder to me. And so I'm really excited to share all of this in our wondrous world with all of you. And so one of the things that we were talking about was this idea of Diana and how Wonder Woman also embraces that idea of the goddess Diana. And now we're in the new moon in Aries. We've just moved a couple days out of the new moon in Aries, and Aries was her adversary, if you will. And so we wanted to explore a few different things with you guys today about the connections between Diana, Aries, Hermes, Mercury. A lot of this is stuff that you guys, we've studied in Greek and say Roman mythology, and yet every myth has threads of reality through it. And whether it's been brought to us through the stars, the gods and goddesses, whether it's been through stories, what we call scripture, ancient writings, all of these things, we're taking elements and the elements and the elementals, we're taking elements of all of these things and bringing it together. And so part of the Diana energy, I wanted to say that as far as the idea of dressing up, I know this may sound, we're stepping out of our comfort zone, all of us right now, in many, many ways. And part of embracing who and what we are is having fun and going back to our child spirit and the inner child. And a lot of us have been working on this for many, many years. And this is part of us that needs to be reminded that it's supposed to be fun. Televisions, movies, all of this reminds us that it's supposed to be fun. When we watch our animals, it's supposed to be fun. They're playful. So part of this idea is being playful with all of this, but yet there's that serious side of all of this that it really does show us and who we really are. And therefore we had a friend who is coming into her own knowing and power of her own multidimensionality and healing. And even she was saying, as I unearthed my Wonder Woman costume, only sliding these on her arms. And she said, I already feel the power, the energy within me of bringing that out in me. And really, I think it was even after that she began playing the drum and bringing out this healing shamanic energy in her, but then also dancing and singing. And so it was expressing her true vibration, her true self, and we need to really, even the song comes into my mind, walk on the wild side. We got to walk on the wild side. That's part of what we came here to do. So, and our animal spirits tell us that too. They remind us of that. They're wild animals. So I wanted to, I wasn't sure where I wanted to start. I've got oracle cards in front of me. I've got some animal spirit information here and some angels. And so I wanted to reiterate to all of you that when you join us, again, you don't have to turn your camera on or your voice, but we really encourage everybody to hop in. Again, you don't have to dress up, but even if it's, again, a hat, a helmet, a shirt. And so today we're also embracing the energies that are Hermes and Thor. A combination. So we've got a lot of different things going on today with all of these energies. So if you guys have any questions, if you want to hop in with your cards, we encourage people to bring in their oracle cards that are kind of God and goddess and animal spirit related. And so as I'm guided to, if you can see behind us, I've got a lot of different cards back here. There's Thor's hammer. So we've got our replica of Thor's hammer. And so we had talked about that in some of our previous hangouts. We wanted to kind of bring all of this together and show how it kind of intertwines, if you will. And so the part of the thing that I wanted to bring up to begin with is in my in my costume accessorizing, I have the lasso of truth of Wonder Woman. And I noticed that in the corner, here's the Batman logo. And so the Batman Superman logo. And it came to me, as I was telling Dave, that it came to me that, you know, Batman, let's take Batman, for example. You know, he really didn't have any superpowers necessarily. So that idea of changing from the, you know, the regular clothing to the Batman outfit and being in the Batcave, and all of a sudden he became a superhero. He embraced and became and embodied it and used what powers and strengths and abilities he did have. And yet we saw him as this superhero, but we also saw the human side of him. And so it made me remember and realize that we have these strengths and abilities within us. And were there any examples? I was trying to think of other examples that we talked about where it was only donning the suit, for example, that brought the energy to the person, or that the superhero power necessarily.
Well, also Iron Man.
Iron Man, thank you. That was another,
Tony
and you'd
Stark.
have to actually.
Well, Tony Stark, who had a lot of money, and his father was an inventor ahead of his time, and with intuition created an Iron Man suit. And it's sort of a funny joke because he worked with other superheroes who all had special superhero powers. And the joke was, what's your superpower? And he's like, I've got money. So he used his money for good and to create the suit. And AJ I think he yelled, that was Batman.
Oh, Batman. Okay. Thank you, AJ. AJ's in the room, but in the other room.
So the idea is Tony Stark created an Iron Man suit to fight for justice, and he didn't have any superpowers other than his mind and his intuition and his money and resources.
Exactly. So
everybody could be a superhero.
Everybody can be, because we already are. And that's part of the reason why we're doing this too, is to remind you guys, you already have the superhero, you are the superpower, we already have all that we need always. We forget it. We need to remind ourselves that we are creators, gods and goddesses. And maybe this just is a fun way of recreating that within us. And so there was a lot of different energies swirling around. And so first of all, I wanted to thank all of you again for being in the room with us. Please do leave your comments here. If you want to say something, please just let us know, raise your hand in the Zoom room, and let us know if you'd like to talk. We do want to open it up to all of you to participate. That's the biggest reason we're doing this, is to encourage people to participate, to come out of your comfort zone, to explore and expand with us, and to not be afraid of all that you are. And you guys, this includes light languages. You know, we talk a lot where it's not that we've forgotten about light languages. It's about incorporating what all of these, how light languages even came to be, the beginning of sound, the beginning of healing, the beginning of taking sound and putting it to a language. All of this is all intertwined. So today, I also wanted to I need Dave's help for this, because there's a lot of research that he's done about these connections with Diane and Hermes and Mercury. And so I wanted him to take this opportunity right now to share some of this information so you guys can start to connect the dots. And then as we go through, I'll be guided to pull some oracle cards for everybody, and to, give us collective readings and light language blessings and activations, and show you some more of the relics and fun things that we've been collecting and why. And so, yeah, if you want to start, where do you want to start?
So when you decided that you wanted to be Diana Wonder Woman, I had to come up with something that would sort of make sense. And it turns out that of course, Thor is sort of in the Wonder Woman arena, but Hermes, it turns out, has a lot to do with Wonder Woman, and as an Olympian god also. In DC Comics, actually, Hermes delivered the message from Zeus to Diana originally as Wonder Woman to be tasked with saving the world. And that wasn't in the movie, but that was part of the comics that I found.
Okay, thank you. So there we have it.
And Diana and Hermes are found together in a lot of places historically. Typically temples exist for Hermes and Diana, usually together or right next to one another or really nearby.
Which I didn't know until like today.
And there's actually a castle in Ireland where Diana and Hermes appear together. It's called Kilkenny Castle, built in 1192. And there are two statues of, the only two statues there, Diana and Hermes. So oddly, Diana and Hermes have been found together in many places. So of course,
and then we were talking about Italy and Rome and Roman mythology and
Yes.
Roman, and so all of this ties in.
So of course, the Greek and Roman mythology, Diana and Hermes, also known as Mercury, the messenger.
The messenger.
So the wings.
The wings, the messenger.
Are so Hermes could fly it up to Zeus and back to deliver messages.
And his run his boots, correct?
And also
his
on
hat.
his boots, yeah.
Right, yes.
He's got
On
boots
his,
sneaker
yes, he's got them.
things with
Yeah,
wings.
exactly.
I don't have them.
Yet.
I don't have them yet. And then the other interesting thing we found was that it is said Hermes created the lyre and panpipes. And
That's right.
the lyre also was a King David instrument that he was famous for. And King David's divine lyre, as it's referred to, was used to purify and heal spirit. So in the Bible and other stories, the lyre itself and King David and throughout history afterwards was used to literally help people spiritually and to raise them up when they're having difficulties. And actually King David used it before he was king for another king at the time that he eventually took over for. So there's a lot of historical information
stuff
with the lyre, which is often mistakenly identified as a harp.
That's true.
Apparently the number of strings make a difference and how exactly it's built. But you've probably always heard of the harp in the Bible, but apparently it's actually the lyre.
The lyre.
Or lyre.
A lyre. And then there's that whole idea of music and healing and light languages and the things that we talk about and how all of that ties in. Oh, and even I'm reminded the lyre and lyrins, and there's the idea of sound healing. And so all of these connections and all of you, I wanted to mention too, a couple of things. The couple of you were asking about jumping in the room. I put the link to my website. If you go at the very beginning, the very first comment and the actual comments on the YouTube live comments, there is a link there to my website, and then the Zoom room link is right there. You can hop in. So you can find it there, languagesoflights.com on the event page, and you'll see a new link with Goddess Fridays. So you can go right to my website. You can see under the events page, you'll see a link for Goddess Fridays, and it will always be there. The link for every week will be there. And then also, thank you, Dave, for putting, there's links to our previous ones as well as upcoming events coming up. So you'll have links to all of them coming up right there on the website, and as well as to be able to see previous ones. So everything's right there. So I wanted to let you guys know, if you wanted to hop in, please do. So there, I just wanted to bring that up too. And sir, there's something, did you find something that you wanted to read?
Well, you wanted me to also mention a little bit more about Mercury and Hermes.
Yes, please.
that I'm scrolling up a lot of things. He's also involved in the Celtic and Germanic cultures. He was equated with the Celtic god Lugus, and it was commonly accompanied by the Celtic goddess Rosmerta, which we don't really know that much about, I don't think. And Lugus may have originally been a deity of light or the sun, similar to the Roman Apollo. And he also had to do with the god of trade. He was also, I want to see, there was a section that talked about that he was the most popular god.
That was it.
Julius Caesar wrote that Mercury was the most popular god in Britain and Gaul, regarded as the inventor of arts. This is probably because in the Roman system, Mercury was equated with the god Lugus, Celtic god. So obviously these, also they understood that the individual gods also represented the larger aspects of higher gods.
Yes.
So for instance, when you're looking up information about gods and goddesses, many times there's similarities between different ones in different cultures. And even in what it says, the gods of Celtic and Germanic tribes, even back then in Rome, they interpreted them as local manifestations or aspects of their own gods and other gods. So even then they understood that when we're talking about the gods and goddesses, and we're talking about specifically Diana and Hermes, it doesn't just mean that they are a separate entity.
Exactly.
And
yes.
that sort of ties into the idea that we all have connections to these kinds of energies. And that doesn't mean, for instance, I might have a connection to Mercury or Hermes. That doesn't mean I am Mercury or Hermes. We have a connection to it, and it's an aspect of it. And those are available to everyone who wants to have them. So again, by dressing up, you're inviting those energies in, and it allows you to make a better connection with more aspects of yourself.
Exactly. And that is really one of the reasons why we started talking about this and doing this and being able to incorporate all of the tools that we also call permission slips, which many of us, if you have been following me for a little while, I do talk a lot about Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anga, and that we're being reminded that these are we are their ancestors, and that we not only are being taught by them, but we have to remember we're their parents. So therefore, they're also learning from us right now, simultaneously. So there's all of these other threads that are going on, all related to all of this. And as Dave said, we have to remember that we're all parts of all of these things. That doesn't necessarily mean that, again, that we were them, but we so deeply identify and we say, oh my God, I am having memories even of being her. Well, that's how I feel too. Sometimes I'm watching this stuff and I'm like, oh my God, I am her. I was her. I have had that experience. And it's been with a lot of stuff now, like we were talking about the fifth element and, Lilu and we so deeply identify with these characters because we are them. We're sharing these experiences with them. That's why we have Greek mythology and Roman mythology. It's why we have mythology at all. These are stories that we call myths. But are we beginning to understand now that they're not myths at all? They're part of who we are and what we are and how we're incorporating, as we've been talking about, the age of Aquarius and doing things new now in a new way. And now we're in and how synchronistic. We were just coming out of a couple of days ago, the new moon in Aries, and Aries again was her, Wonder Woman's adversary, if you will. And even the story, the god of war. And so isn't that almost fitting that
Don't we almost feel like we're almost right now, in a way, we feel at war with what's going on around us, that we're at war with something we can't see, we can't, it's so it's almost that idea of, it's, we're beginning to understand everything's energy and intention, and that we are experiencing all of these parallel lives, and so anyway, so I wanted to just kind of reiterate that as well. Oh, and where did we were talking earlier about the wands too. How did that come into play with the wands?
Because Hermes was also given a wand.
Okay.
Some kind of magic wand, which I haven't really seen much about that, but apparently magic wands were a thing back then as well.
So,
and actually that reminds me that we wanted to mention about the dressing up and bringing the god and goddess energies to you. You can go buy a Wonder Woman lasso of truth for $10 and carry it around with you everywhere you go, and you're bringing that energy with you. And even if you don't take it out of your purse, or you have it under your shirt, or whatever, you can know that you have the Wonder Woman lasso of truth with you. And when you're interacting with other people, you can know they can't lie to you, because you'll know, because you've got,
because you'll know. And it sounds like BS, you guys, but I'm telling you, it's true. It's true. And that is one of the things that when Dave and I started talking, originally that was one of the things that has been an integral part of what we wanted to impart on everyone, is that speaking our truth is what we all came here to do. And that doesn't necessarily mean standing on a soapbox hollering about your point of view and how you want everybody to change their point of view to match yours. That's not what this is about. It's about recognizing who we are, recognizing the gods and goddess within us, and stop blaming each other and everything else around us for us not being the god and goddess that we can be. And I think we're all recognizing that the only enemy we really have, if you even want to call it an enemy, is our own fears. It's our own lack of belief in ourselves. It's our own lack of understanding that we collectively control what's going on. We collectively, I want to say regulate even the vibration of the collective by how each and every one of us acts and behaves, and speaking our truth and being kind and humble and compassionate and not judgmental while we're doing so. And all of us, including myself, have experienced, I still experience that. And I've even said that recently. There are versions of all of ourselves that we may or may not prefer, but we also have to remind ourselves that it's just part of who we are. And we can relate to all kinds of different energies. That doesn't make us bad. That makes us recognizing what we do and do not prefer, of how we want to be in this moment, and how we can choose in that moment to change our vibration, even if we don't believe that we can, because we can, because that's all we have. That is the only thing we can control, is our now, and who we are and what we are now, and how we speak, and how do we want to leave a room? How do we want people to remember us? How do we want to leave our mark? How do we want to be of service to ourselves by being ourselves as truly and unabashedly as possible, while still maintaining the idea of respecting and honoring that all truths are true, and that we don't have to, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't have to make someone else's truth untrue to make ours true. It doesn't work that way. All that is all that is. We are all that is. Again, we are all the stories of all that is. And we are source seeing itself in all of its beautiful aspects. And even the ones that we call dark are just part of us. It's not about ignoring them or pretending they don't exist. It's about allowing them, and to recognize that that is what that is part of what we are and who we are. And all of these are just stories that we're telling ourselves by sharing our experiences with each other. And even I'm reminded again about light languages, how when we speak light languages or hear them, we recognize the purity in the energy, because we realize that there is no judgment happening. There is no filtering. There is no, it's almost as if you have this awareness of all that you are without even needing to identify all that you are, because you're really speaking from all that you are. I wanted to, was there anything else that you wanted to share right away?
I do want to
Okay.
mention, I was two things actually. When we first came in, you might have noticed Wendy had a sword and a shield.
Thank you
Wonder Woman's sword.
for bringing that up.
And in the movie Wonder Woman, the recent movie, the sword was called the God Killer. And it was thought at the time that that sword was made specifically to kill the god Ares. But within the movie, we find out that really the power was within Diana herself. And the power wasn't in the sword. And there's lots of light language written.
Yeah, there's like
on the
all
sword.
kinds of symbols on here, you guys. It's really pretty amazing.
But the important information, I think, is that the power is all within each of us. And that's a good lesson that the movie teaches us.
Thank you for bringing that up, because it was one of the reasons why I almost forgot my sword and my shield, is that I wanted Dave to remind me of the story of the sword, because that was like an integral part of the whole movie, was about that she recognized that the power was within her all along. And isn't that kind of what we learned in The Wizard of Oz and everything that we ever read is thy will be done. It is your will that is being done by thoughts and vibrations and what you believe about yourself. And excuse me. And that is one of the reasons why we wanted to bring all of this information to everyone, to kind of connect all these threads. And for you guys to realize there is no separation with anything. Everything is an archetypal representation of everything else, and everything's a mirror. We're mirrors for each other. And to recognize when we relate to any of these characters in movies and comics and television shows, it's because it reminds us that every single part of what you're seeing is a reminder of who you are, because you're creating that show in front of you right now. You are creating it along with the creator of the show itself to serve you right now. That's what this is all about. So
that does remind me of the other thing. And one of the other things that synchronistically we found about Hermes was he was also associated with the bears and hunting.
Thank you.
And I'm looking at a bear right
yes.
here. And that also reminds me that you should probably explain to all the YouTube people who haven't seen you before a little bit about you. And take a moment for that, because you've always associated with the bear. And of course, Hermes has some association with the bear, and
that is kind of funny
his
too.
Counterpart.
That is kind of funny, because for some reason I've always really resonated with the bear collective, even collecting teddy bears. The idea of teddy bears being that they're for comfort and love. That was the whole purpose of them to begin with. But then there's the idea of the strength of the bear. And I've had experiences with some other friends with the bear collective, and some friends of mine began speaking light languages in a time when I was feeling this mama bear energy. And I wanted to reiterate that too, that I think part of all of us are having that mama bear, papa bear energy right now, because it's like taking care of our family. Also, the bear sleeps in the winter, and in the Northern Hemisphere here, it's springtime. So I've been feeling these other shamanic connections, which there's some bear, earth, deer, elk, all of these other animals, fox, wolf, all of these energies are part of who we are, who I am. And yesterday in our video, we pulled the horse card and the rabbit card. And so all of these energies and the eagle. So if you've been watching me for a little while, you'll know that I identify with these. I've even had videos where I've talked about this. And so I had to laugh because my aunt had started a little teddy bear collection for me a long time ago. And it's not that I have a lot, but it was, I always felt comforted and like to have them around me, and even slept with one. And I actually have my little bandit here, my little bear bandit here. This guy's been with me for, well, I don't know, about since 2002, I think it was. And so all of these are part of reminding us who we are. And so I had to laugh because I guess it's been a couple months now. I stepped out of my vehicle one day and I happened to come across this little, I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but this little tiny, it's just a little piece of metal. And I don't know how close you can see it, but it's a mama bear, and she's got tucked underneath her little baby bear. You might be able to see it better from the back. And so I just happened to be reminded that day about my own. There were certain things messages I needed to hear about that day. And I was even looking up today, bear animal totem energy again. And so I encourage all of you, if we don't get to that today, to look that up too, for all of you, to remind yourselves about maybe what information might be there for you from the Bear Collective. And so it was funny because it was so dirty, I couldn't see it. And so we were trying to see what was written on there. So Dave and I were we were cleaning it, and I said, what does this say? And it says, you can't really read the beginning of it, but it says, don't mess with Mama Bear. And I feel like this divine goddess energy, the divine mother, bringing that balance back, taking care of the world, I feel like that's how, like, I'm hearing this message, don't mess with Mama Bear. She's got a job to do. And I maybe we're all Mama Bear. Maybe that's what we have, a job to do. And I feel like we're coming out of our cave. We're waking up from our big winter. And even though this is a metaphor, here it is spring here. And so that idea of waking up and discovering your strength. And of course, there is nothing more fierce than you don't mess with a mama bear's babies. And so there's nothing more fierce than that idea, but yet there's also this gentleness, I was even reminded of a really old television show, you guys, which ages me, Gentle Ben, in which I remember as a kid thinking, how awesome that would be to be friends with a big brown bear. And so I was reminded of that television show because for me, another idea, television, recognition. You guys have commented in the comments about the dolphin collective and cetacean, that idea of the dolphin, the whale, all of these animal energies. And so all of this comes into play. And so I pulled the bear card on purpose from my animal spirit deck. And I love this, The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Kranz. And it was actually very interesting. There's a cute little story in here in the beginning of the book, which I may not have time to read today, but I wanted to begin with the inside of the box, which is so cute. And I just want to show you guys, it's printed on the inside. And it says 2 feet, 4 feet, scales or hide, may our minds stay open and our wings span wide. And so that was really in keeping today with the idea of flying, of wings, of the messenger. Dave's definitely been a messenger for me, and I'm sure for him. And
sometimes not intentionally.
A lot of times.
You put the hat on, you're the messenger.
And we're all messengers for each other. And all of these are messages from our messengers. And we have to remember too, we're messengers too. We're messengers to other realms, other dimensions, other species, other places where they have no idea what it's like to pretend that you're disconnected from source, to pretend that you are less than magnificent, that you've forgotten that you're priests and priestesses, that you've forgotten that you are magic, that you have a magic wand. Oh, we got to show our wands too. Before I read the bear card, I wanted to show our wands because I don't want to forget. So there's one behind us, and then there's this one right here. Here, show them the set here. So I'm surprised all the time with these little permission slips and relics and artifacts. And it's right here. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys this set is so cool. And if you could tell everybody now, I have to say I have not watched all of the Harry Potter movies. And so I know, gasp, everybody, I know. So, but I wanted to, read them. How many are there?
So these are 11.
And you can read them if, and 11, my favorite number, you guys.
Just so happened that I got for almost nothing. I don't know, it was like $10, this whole set.
And they're cool, and they're made of metal, and they're awesome. I'll hold them up for you guys too.
And there are 11 different ones. Harry Potter's wand, Dumbledore's wand, Ron's wand, Crum's wand.
These are so cool.
Death Eater's wand. Well, I'm not sure who that is. Lord Voldemort's wand. You don't say Lord. You don't say that.
Don't say that.
Slughorn's wand. Luna's wand. Narcissus wand. Malfoy's wand, and Fleur Delacour's
These are
wand.
so cool, you guys. I mean, the details on these things are so neat. Let's see here.
And they're miniatures.
They're just little miniatures, but they're so cool. And then I got the big one up here, which is up. Wait, where did I put it? Up on top, I think. I mean, these are really awesome, you guys. And they're made of. They're actually metal, and they're painted, and I'm telling you guys, even just feeling them and touching them they're so much fun. It's like you almost feel the electricity and power in them. And so I wanted to hold them up, and Dave's going to open the other one that he had gotten.
This is Hermione's wand.
And now that's a big one. It's a full-size one, and it actually lights up.
It's already lit up.
It's already lit up.
Too much of your energy going on. I'm afraid to touch it.
It's lit up already in the box. So these are just so fun, you guys. I don't want to hold them all up too long, but I wanted to show them to you in case you wanted to pause the camera later on and kind of check them out. But they're just so much fun. And so we have fun collecting this stuff because it really does make us feel magical. So here it is. And actually it goes on and off. And it's basically a toy. It
goes off when you use it.
And so I love it. And it goes on and off when you tap it. It goes on and off when you swim. So I absolutely love it. It's just fun. It's just fun. And it reminds us that we're all magic. We're all magic. Magic. And you guys are magic just by being here and reminding yourselves of the magicians that you are. And even Bashar had said many years ago, which stuck with me, imagination. Your imagination is the bridge to your higher mind. You send through your imagination that which you desire, and allow your imagination though, and your higher mind to take that information and bring you even better than what you could imagine. Because what you can imagine, again, is just the floor to your higher mind. It's the ceiling for you, but it's the floor to your higher mind. And so allow your higher mind to bring you the things that you want, comfort, love, compassion, all of those things and allow your higher mind to bring you all of the little things to remind you of how to experience that. And so I wanted to, I'm going to double check too to see if we've got anybody else waiting here. And so I wanted to thank all of you guys for being here with us today too, Stefan and AJ and all of you guys hanging out with us. We really appreciate all of your interaction and that you guys watch the video afterward and sharing it. It means so much to all of us. And I don't always have time to share afterward, but I do share it on my Facebook page, Languages of Lights. So I wanted to say hi to everybody. Oh, hi, Beck. Yeah, hop in, Beck. Again, you guys, the Zoom link to hop in the room is on my website. And I did put the link to that in the comments, the very first comment of the YouTube. But if you go to Languages of Lights on the event page, there's a separate Goddess Friday link. And the Zoom link is right there for you guys to hop in the room. If you'd like to join us, please feel free to do so. So I wanted to say hi to everybody. Blue Star says, I have a mini dolphin from a toy set I found at a thrift store, and I'm going to carry it with me today. I brought it with me swimming before. That's what we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about. How many times you hang something in your car to remind yourself of things from your rear view, or, you know, pets in the windows, you know, stuffed animals. And if you guys have been watching my videos for a while, I've been talking, I have a menagerie of stuffed animals. I've talked about them before. I've got little unicorns. It's about all of that. It's about your fun, your play is your work is your play. And it ignites our creativity. And this bleeds into what you do for a living. If you're scared to go out there and do something that you've never done before, this helps ignite that. It helps give us it reminds us of the tenacity and the courage and that we already have. And that when we surround ourselves by all this stuff and receive these messages, it reminds us of that. So thank you for bringing that up, because that's all we're talking about. This stuff does not need to be expensive. It's about using these little things as permission slips to be more that we are. And Magi Nation, that's what Bashar said. You are all a nation of magicians. You are all magi. Your imagination is magic. That is how you make magic. That's how we create. What we think is what becomes real. You think you want an apple, you go buy an apple. You think you want a new car, you think you want a deck of cards, you think you go get it. You figure out a way to manifest it, but you're still manifesting it. You're still creating it. Doesn't matter how you create it, you created it. Or you create the circumstances that allows the universe to bring you what you want. You don't even have to go do it. You say, I want an apple. Well, somehow, some way, the universe is going to figure out a way to get you an apple, even if it's getting your butt to the store, or somebody happens to, oh, wow, I thought you might like a fruit basket. So kind of like that. So I was just kind of reading through the comments. And Beck says, oh, this is interesting. I was shown a set of cushions, Giant, which is Guardians, on a blue bear that spirals of rainbows like the shapes of licorice wheels, and with a detective and a magnifier glass. So, oh, and then Joey says, I was just looking for a Harry Potter coffee cup. See, that's what we're talking about. Drinking out of your Harry Potter coffee cup every day is going to remind you, it's going to put you right back in that energy of magic and whimsical, and reminding you that you are already that. And so I'm just loving this, and thank you guys for so much for all of your input. And while I'm doing that, or while we're doing that, I was going to actually ask Dave. I've also got something I wanted to share with you guys. And I was going to ask Dave, I've got my angels, I've got an angel answers deck here, which I don't believe I've ever done a reading with. And so I was inspired today because, to reiterate what we talked about last week, when we're connecting with our God and Goddess self, we're also reminding ourselves that we're connecting with all of the realms, which includes the angelic realms, the angels within us, our angel guides, and seeking the answers through the angel card. So I was going to ask Dave to kind of shuffle these for a few minutes while I was talking. And I was going to read the bear animal card to you guys first. And one of the things I wanted to share with you guys was this little bag that the cards came in. And I wanted to shout out to Sammy. I don't know if she watches our videos, but Sammy was a card reader that Dave and I had our first and only card reading done. And it was at a little psychic fair with our friend Zinnia. Hey, Zinnia. And so their little boy actually makes these bags to put their purchases in for their clients. And it says, the angels will always help. And then he's got little pictures of angels and some numbers and how the angels are helping. I don't know if you guys can see this really close up. That he drew on here. And on the back is his Instagram. And here, if you guys can see it. And it's actually written in Spanish. So for all of you Spanish speakers and readers, it's actually written in Spanish. So you guys can check that out. And it's got their artist is C2, is it 52? C252_art on Instagram. And so he makes these cute little bags. And so I wanted to remind everybody, angels really will always help. And overall, we talk about gods and goddesses and earth and energy and all this. But I wanted to once again remind everybody that, again, this is also about connecting with the angelics, the mirror that you are of source, the first reflection, because we are all source, being itself through us. Hey, back. Let me let you in. Let's see. Ooh. How you doing? I just wanted to see where you're at. There she is. There you go. Okay. Hi, Beck. Welcome. So I wanted to remind everybody that we can summon that energy anytime we want.
Did she disappear?
Intention. There she is. Lighting a candle, for example, or just bringing the messages through an oracle deck like this. So I wanted to start with reminding everybody that overall, inviting our angels today and every moment, and to all of you right now and all of us, to remind ourselves that the angels are bringing us messages right now. And I wanted to see what messages would come through today and they ask the angels. So if any of you guys have a specific question about something in your heart, in your thought, in your intention, take this moment, this opportunity to think about something that you'd like an answer on, clarity. Maybe you'll get it now. Maybe you'll get it in your dream state. Maybe you'll get it through an animal guide. Maybe like this morning I was listening to a bird and I'm laughing and laughing and laughing because this bird is just, and I was like, and even Dave said, so what's it telling you? And I'm laughing because it's literally like, it's like I hear it telling me a story, you know? So, so I wanted to show you the bear card. And in the animal guidebook, and you see there's also a sun above his head. So it's like, okay, it's waking up in the springtime. The bear, waking from spiritual slumber. And isn't this what we're all doing now? We're waking from our spiritual slumber. Waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. And that's another thing. I am speaker new, and you. Every moment is a new beginning. We have a new beginning right now with spring, new beginning with autumn in the Southern Hemisphere, new beginnings beginning with a new moon. So new beginnings. And how, if we remind ourselves again, as we talked about earlier, every moment can be a new beginning because we do not have to carry the moment before us with us unless we decide it is serving us in some way. And we can also realize that we can let it go and that it has served us already, and allow the wisdom gained from that experience to move you in your next moment, in your next now. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of the spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. When this is in balance, this bear energy within us, we find our inner strength and a yearning to grow. When it's out of balance, we withdraw. We feel lethargy and heaviness. To bring it into balance, we need to movement and exercise. So moving, getting our bodies moving, stretching, singing, dancing, coming to these hangouts, dressing in a way you never did before. Maybe this whole dress up thing is about to try to remind you guys to ask your angels what you're supposed to wear today. And if you guys have been watching my videos for a little while, you know that's always been a part of what I do for myself, for my clients. What color do I need today? What do I need to share with the world? Maybe it's not what you need. Maybe somebody else needs to see you wearing a particular color so they can go, oh my God, I love that color. Oh, or you both, how many times I would go to work in one day and all of us would come to work in the same color. So all of these things matter. They make a difference. And so when we bring in our guides and our angels into our everyday stuff, we remind ourselves that all of these answers can come through. And again, it changes how we move through the world. So Dave's been shuffling a little while.
And this one popped out and I did not look at it.
Okay.
Like jumped out immediately.
Okay, so here I want to show you guys the backs of the cards if you haven't seen these, and a couple of the cards are different on the outside.
That's the front.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it?
Wait a minute, is it?
What is this card?
No, that is the, okay, so yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you pulled that card. That's the back of the card, and I wanted to show you guys there's butterflies. That's a whole nother thing. We are going to be exploring one of these hangouts, the butterfly and the butterfly collective, and you'll see why. But so the butterflies and transformation, we were just, that was just talking about transformation, and the butterflies in her hair, butterflies are complete transformation. This card is the yes card. Whatever question that you guys had in your mind, your heart, the answer is yes. Maybe the answer won't come to you now. And there's something I wanted to share with you guys, and I will share it at another time, but I will tell you the gist of it because this card came up. I had a client who during the session, a very similar situation came up where I heard the guides and angels say to tell this person, the answer is yes. Now, I will tell you, I was just thinking about this person the other day, Michael. Hey, Michael, if you're watching. I was just thinking about Michael the other day, and all of a sudden there was an email from him, and I can't remember how long it's been, maybe a year later. He said to me, I wanted to tell you as a testimonial, the answer that I needed to hear when you gave me that yes answer and you told me I would know, he says, I'm telling you, I wanted to tell you that answer changed my life, that I realized the answer recently, and it took all that time for him to recognize that that was the answer he was looking for. So it's not always today, it's not always tomorrow, because everything's right now. So this may be an answer to something that you may not even have even asked the question about yet. And this is something we need to remember too. So he said to me, I just wanted to tell you that I knew in that moment when I was asking God and my angels for direction in my life about what I should do about this life-altering situation. He says, I remembered our session. I remembered our session when you said to me, you will know the moment, and the answer is yes. And he said, Wendy, I wanted to let you know that changed my life. And he said, I am so happy about my decision. That he says, the experience that I'm having because of that decision, I would have never had. And I'm very happy. So I wanted to share that with all of you. And so that sometimes the answer doesn't come when or how, or even in the shape or the gift wrap that we think it's going to come in. And maybe we don't think of the situation as a gift right now. Maybe we can't see that, but whatever that yes answer is, and there's only 2 yes cards in this entire deck, and Dave pulled one of them. So
it flew out.
It flew out of the deck, but nonetheless, energy and intention. So, and I know if there's anybody who has strong intentions and manifestation, it's him. And I wanted to remind everybody too today that in the idea of numbers, today's date equals number 7, and today's even the 27th. So we've got another 7 energy. So we've got a 77 energy today. So I was just reminded of that. So if there's any of you who are interested in looking up sacred numbers, if you guys are look up the repeating numbers 77 and even 777, which is 77 and 777 is very synchronistic to Dave and I. And so the number 7 for the sacred circuit is unlock. And so what is it that we want to unlock today? What is it that we want to manifest today? What new beginning do you want to unlock? What do you want to unlock within you? Sometimes we want to unlock things within us, like our creativity. We want to unlock the ability to speak our truth, to recognize and discern something, a situation. Maybe you want to unlock your light languages. Maybe you want to unlock a spiritual connection. Maybe you want to unlock a spiritual bridge between you and your angels and your guides. Maybe you want to unlock something within you by dressing up. And I wanted to reiterate again, like we talked about last week, it doesn't have to be costumes. You don't have to buy them. Put on a hat that you've had in your closet and put it on and come in the hangout. You know, it doesn't have to be anything, you know, so even Beck, look who's beautiful today. Whatever you're wearing, look at you. Okay, we got to show this girl. I got to see her close up, man. So I got to see you. Oh my God. So put it back on again. Come on. I need to see you. I want to see it again. She's wearing bananas. So see, she's wearing bananas. Now, I will have you guys know I ate a banana today right before I started this hangout. So there you go. So what does that tell you? So number 7, what do you want to unlock? So number 7 here, I'm going to block all of my face here. Number 7, unlock. Here's the Sirius sacred circuit in the middle. The Hebrew number for 7, and also the Hebrew translation for unlock is beneath it, because I felt, as I reiterated yesterday in our video, that I want to, oh, I want to see her picture. Hang on. I just want to see a close up. It's beautiful. Did you just paint that? That's really nice.
I just literally painted it just before I come on. And
no way!
You said there was like a sun over that burr, and it's the sun over, I think it's a mountain.
Oh.
I'm not too sure yet. But as well, that burr.
Or on the...
Yeah, well, I wanted to mention to you, I think around Christmas time, me and my daughter, we went to a hotel, and everything, I knew I was in some kind of like opposite reality. Everything was back to front. Even the hotel was designed the opposite way around. And when we went in this hotel, there was 3 cushions laid out. One was a blue burr.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, one was spirals of, they look like DNA or like the licorice wheels, but there was all rainbow colours. And then there was a detective with a magnifying glass. And on top of that, my daughter had a top what said giant on it. But it very much felt like a false reality. And I feel like this reality we're in at the moment, I keep saying there's something doesn't feel right. I feel like there's something just doesn't seem add up with everything what's going on at all.
I think a lot of us are feeling that. I was just going to reach back here for this deck right here, because I'm feeling this, again, this bird energy. So we're talking about, I don't know. So
and I keep seeing a magpie, like loads of magpies, and all the other birds keep chasing the magpies away. And the dove keeps chasing the magpie away. The crows keep chasing the magpie away. And to me, magpies symbolize like the duality, but also like not seeing all the picture.
I have actually this deck right here, and there is a magpie. MNOP.
Do you remember me saying about that thing that I was like in meditation, and there was that little pink thing what changed form, and it was all spiky, and then it put me in fear, and it reminds me of this like virusy thing what's like been coming up.
Look at the cards, you guys. So the back of its feathers. And there's quill pens behind me with my peacock feather and an owl feather. Here's the magpie card. There's a lot of feathers on my website too. And the magpie card says secrets discovered. So if that's not appropriate for right now, I don't know what is, because.
And I found a feather outside of my door. There was literally a feather under it.
The crow was the next card. Someone, oh, who was it? I'm sorry if I'm forgetting who said it. In the messages that I was reading, the comments, I think it was from last week, or the video from last night. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. You guys are talking about the crow. Somebody mentioned the crow again. And so the magpie, secrets discovered, magpies related to crows. Are you kidding?
You
says
can't make
you
this
can't make this
stuff
stuff up. It says magpies related to crows are large birds with glistening black heads and are frequently considered the most intelligent member of the crow family. With a reputation for stealing anything they can carry off, magpies have a knack for using whatever they find. And isn't that what we're doing right now, you guys? Using whatever we can find?
And you said don't mess with the burr. And that seems to be ringing in the church. And the burrs symbolize, I feel like they symbolize guardians of the galaxy.
Well, it says when the magpie appears, information is coming your way, usually of a secretive, occult, or metaphysical kind. Well, that's very appropriate. It means you will be picking up some hidden information psychically. You will be discovering secrets. People will share with you things they probably should not. Magpies remind you to use the knowledge coming your way carefully. You need to be careful with any secretive information you get and plan carefully for its use. The information may be more than you can handle. It may not be what you want to know. Well, this is really appropriate for right now, but Magpie here reminds you that you can benefit with just a little secret knowledge, no matter how distasteful or enjoyable. Geez. Magpie alerts you that you will gain something you desire from the use of the knowledge that has come your way, but the benefit may come in an obtuse or unusual manner, along with some slight repercussions you have not considered. Well, well, well. Be careful in how you use new information. Be responsible or suffer the consequences. Well, I don't think that could have been a more perfect message from our magpie and crow. And, oh, look, courtship and mating, new relationship developing. So, a new relationship, you guys, you are developing with yourself, your mirror image of yourself. We all are creating and developing a new relationship with all that we are, with our multidimensionality, with our higher selves, with our angels, with each other. We are literally having a courtship with ourselves and learning to love ourselves intimately. And so, if you guys can see here,
I can't see it.
It's what is that? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was.
I'm not sure what kind of. Maybe it's too close up. Is it too close up, you guys? I don't know how well if you can see them. So I'm getting this message in that it's not just we're relating to each other differently now too, just as we were talking about in the video last night, and we're literally creating a new relationship, developing a new relationship with each other, with ourselves, with Earth, with how we communicate with each other, how we receive information. I have been getting this message from my guides that we are, again, about between last equinox and this one, the solstices, and now I'm hearing again between the last one, the autumn equinox and the spring, and now again we're going to be seeing a whole nother set of changes between now and Easter time, and then a whole nother set of realizations they're saying by the next autumnal equinox. So it's almost like this new information is going to be breeding new information, and even as right now, even if we're not enjoying the experience of this new information, it's going to be crucial for the development of the human consciousness. So it's interesting how even these little messages from our little feathered friends can bring, and so I'm glad you brought that up about the magpie, because otherwise we wouldn't have received this card about secret information and new information. And I think all of us are
chased away though. Like what I have noticed, because I've seen it lots, right, is I keep seeing like two birds playing. So like one will be playing with another and they keep chasing after one another. But then particularly with the magpies, the other birds keep chasing it away. It's like, nope, you're not here, you not belong here. So that's a message in itself. Plus you got the crow after it as if it was going, no, you're not going to be here.
And that they're in the same family, and the cards were right next to each other. I swear, I was like, they were literally right next to each other. So it was pretty crazy. So I wanted to see if is there anybody else in the room, to make sure I've got everybody. And I was just gonna say, there was another card some other cards I wanted to pull for you guys too. Was there any, I want to see if there's any questions or comments. Yours is a little bit more up to date. Okay, good. So I wanted to see behind me, because we just passed the new moon. So I've got the Queen of the Oracle here, and the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And this is by Stacy DeMarco, and guidance through lunar and seasonal energies. And so it's interesting, seasonal energies so we were talking about the change of the seasons right now and the new moon. And I looked at it last night, and it is just the teeny tiniest, there's the back of the cards. It's the tiniest little sliver moon. And it was just so beautiful. There's something so magical about looking at a crescent moon. I think we all have this, I don't know, affinity for when we see a new moon, a crescent moon. I was even thinking about the, what is it, the production company, DreamWorks, I think it is, for movies, where it's got the little guy sitting on the crescent moon. I think he's fishing or something. So it always makes me smile at the beginning of those movies, because I always think about that. So I was thinking about also how when we are guided once again to look to the moon and the cycles of spring and the cycles of the moon for guidance, for information, we use the new moon as the symbol and permission for new beginnings. And we use the full moon as the idea of completions. What have we completed since this last new moon? And what is it that you'd like to begin? What projects would you like to start? How can we take, again, this situation at hand, and even though we may all be experiencing it from a completely different perspective, that we can all take what information and wisdom and knowledge is gained through all of this and apply it to in our own worlds and in our own lives and with each other in a completely different way. Abundance, the hunter moon. And she's holding a fox, and she's got fox around her. There's all kinds of animals, and the number's 38, which equals 11. And we were just talking about moons and full moons and completions and hunting. And we were talking about Diana, the huntress, and abundance. If we can see how this situation is going to create, I keep hearing like leveling the playing field. It's going to be creating abundance for everyone, that everyone is going to be experiencing abundance in ways that they never have before because of what's going on. And it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, next week, or next year, but it is going to happen. And we can't look at, oh, tomorrow, what is it doing today? How can we take this moment, this now, and use it to the best of our abilities with that? I'm hearing that hunter, even the bear, I think about the bear and hunt, how the bear hunts for food, and how her first priority is abundance for her family and taking care of her family. And so all of us are in that energy, I think, right now, of appreciating the abundance we have. I go to the store, and maybe a few things that we can't get right now, but I feel abundant because there's so much we can get. And maybe we can't, maybe we're here to recognize and remind ourselves about the abundance that we already have. That abundance isn't money, it's not wealth. Abundance comes in all ways. Abundance is sharing this energy with all of you. It fills me, it fills us. It's a form of abundance that's intangible, yet satisfying, comforting. And so we have to remind ourselves that abundance comes in many, many ways. And sometimes abundance is even being in touch with nature, abundance, seeing the abundance that earth has to give us. And that maybe the abundance isn't found in the store. Maybe that's what we're being reminded, you guys, is that our abundance isn't in the grocery store. It's not in these stores. It's in each other. The abundance is how can we help each other now when the restaurants are closed? How can we see the abundance we already have and appreciate it? And how can we create abundance for all of us, all at the same time? And I think really this whole situation is restructuring what we believe about abundance, what we believe we need, the thing. And I think it's really pointed out to many of us what we do and don't need, what we think we want, and how sometimes, as the old saying goes, a necessity breeds invention. How many of us are forced or put now in a situation where our higher selves are saying, hey, it's time for you to start thinking about outside the box. Or maybe you just are done with that job and being home is showing you, oh my God, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to do that job anymore. So all of this is to show us how we're abundant, how we can become abundant, how we can share abundance with each other in ways we never have before. And to be the mama bear with each other and hold each other and support each other and show each other our strengths. So is there anything you wanted to add to any of that? How are we doing on time? I'm not really paying attention. How are we doing on time?
It is 2:29.
Okay.
So,
good. So we're a little over an hour now. And I also wanted to, speaking of abundance, I don't know, maybe if you guys can see behind me, but there's some artwork behind me, and that I wanted to just, I'm not going to grab it, but I wanted to just show it behind me really quick. And I've showed it before. So I wanted to shout out to Daniel Pollock. Daniel, I got your artwork here and I unpacked it. I wanted to show back here, and we've got some marine life. I've got a cat and a wolf howling at the full moon. And I just wanted to thank you and all of you, because this is also what's abundance for me, is when I receive something that is from one of you. It doesn't have to, I'm not talking about money necessarily. And of course, all donations are always welcome. And I always appreciate that. And private sessions. The point is about abundance, that in just out of appreciation for putting this content out there, for sharing my highest joy and excitement, which I would do anyway because I love it, that Daniel, in his appreciation, created these pieces of artwork for me and with me in mind and sent them to me. And so that has value. That's abundance to me. You guys, I have received so much from all of you, jewelry and crystals and rocks and seashells and oracle decks. And I can't begin to thank all of you for the abundance that I've received, the comments, the questions, the private messages, the where are you when you're not online? We want to know where you are, what's going on, why aren't you there, what's going on in your life. You guys, it's so amazing. That's abundance to me. That's an abundance of love and compassion and sharing and showing me that you care about what's going on, that you care that we show up every day or every week or every whatever, that you care about me and Dave, and you want to know what's going on. So all of that is abundance for me. It's and for all of us, and you, Beck, sharing your artwork. Oh my God, I just made this right before I came in the Hangout. Just you creating that and showing it here in the Hangout is abundance for everyone. It's activation. It is the moon, the sun above the mountain, showing us that this is who we are. Mount Olympus, you guys, the gods, the goddesses, Mount Olympus. That's what I saw in your painting. Mount Olympus, the gods and the goddesses. That's what I just heard in your painting. So I'm seeing us standing like at the god and the goddess, standing at Mount Olympus and on your painting, looking at the sun going, here we are. I'm ready for the abundance that all of this has to give me. And even if I don't understand how or what or who or when the abundance is going to come, what we need to understand is it's already here right now. We're receiving the abundance right now. If we keep looking for later, we're not seeing what we've got right now. And when you can't see the abundance in what you have right now, you're always looking. It's like the idea of, I always wondered about that the saying, in pursuit of happiness. We're not in pursuit of happiness. If you're in pursuit of happiness, you're not being happy right now. What are you looking for? In pursuit of when, what, how, who? We're not in pursuit of happiness. Happiness is a decision you make right now. You're not in pursuit of anything. So if we're all in pursuit of happiness, well, guess what, you guys? You're still gonna be looking to the day you take your last breath. Because if you always think you're in pursuit of happiness, then you're thinking you don't have it now. So all of these messages are strong. They're important. Some of them we don't want to hear. Some of them I don't even want to say because they're bold. But we're being asked now to be bold, be amazing, be more than we ever were, and not be afraid of Beverly. Hey, didn't see you there, darling. Here, let me let you in. Hey, Beverly, welcome. Glad to see you here. So good to see you. So I've also been guided to, speaking of bold, I love this deck too, my dragon, the dragon cards. And so a lot of us have been talking about dragon energy lately. So I'm feeling this dragon energy, like goddess energy. And a lot of you guys have been commenting about the dragon energy. So I'm going to show this closer up, the Dragon Oracle. And I was guided again today to bring one of these cards out. Here's the back of the card, the fire. And it looks like, to me, that looks like in the infinity sign, like bringing our fire, our infinite fire into the now. And I'm also seeing DNA. I'm hearing DNA right now. So I'm feeling like firing up our DNA, activating this bold fire dragon energy within us. And that it is an archetype. It is an archetype energy that is sleeping dragons. I'm hearing sleeping dragons. We're all sleeping dragons waiting to emerge, waiting for this fire to burn within us and ignite this quiet, burning DNA with this. I feel like this slow glowing embers like lava. And even the mountain that you drew reminded me of some cards that I've pulled lately. But it reminded me of this idea of the fire burning up within us, the fire coming out of the mountain, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. And, sorry, you guys. This Ranger, my dog, I think it's a delivery. So, and that, to me, that's a confirmation from our friends from Sirius, the dog star, that to remind us to look to the Sirius energy, the star Sirius, the blue star, the brightest star we can see from Earth. Our Sirius guides are here with us, reminding me right now to remind you guys that the Sirius energy, that the service to humanity, the symbol of service to humanity is the dog. So the dog star, Canis Major, the Sirius star system, in which we have many guides that taught us about numerology and spirituality and sacred geometry and the pyramids. And so back to the dragon energy again, I'm feeling that fearlessness, that this is time to really ignite this fire energy within us, this dragon energy. Hi, Beverly. How are you? I just wanted to give you the opportunity to say hi if you wanted to. And you can unmute if you'd like. Just wanted to say hi. Oh, Jody. Jody. All right. Hey, Jody. Hi, welcome. Hey, Jody. Good to see you. Jody, Reiki Medium. Good to see you, girl. So glad that you joined us. Thank you. And your messages have been amazing. Your synchronicities have been amazing. Thank you so much, Jody, for sharing all of the beautiful messages and the lovely things that you've said about for me and Dave and I and all of you. I want to thank all of you, truly thank all of you for the wonderful, loving comments and all of the wonderful things that you say about us. So it's really, it really warms my heart. Thank you all. I really appreciate it. And it means a lot to me. And I always read them to Dave if he hasn't seen them yet. And we do our, because it's so dang cute. You guys are amazing. So thank you. Okay, the alpha dragon. And it's holding a feather. Are you kidding me? Alpha dragon, harness the divine masculine power of creation. Gods and goddesses. And it looks like an eclipse here on the sun. Destroy the old, visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. Help to manifest a new world. Sorry, Dave, I keep covering up. Help to manifest a new world. You guys, help to manifest a new world. And the darkness, the dark dragon. Don't be afraid, you guys. This is what we're talking about. The darkness, the fear, false evidence appearing real. The whole idea that doing it scared, the dragon energy. Look at the feather. Again, it's holding a feather. And reminded too that the dragon and your imagination, creation is as light as a feather. Your thought weighs nothing, yet the power that it generates and creates universes. That's a pretty amazing card if you ask me. It's got it's almost like a star in the third eye of the dragon and the eclipse of the sun, that we're really coming out of this darkness. See the eclipse around the sun, you guys? So we're really coming out of this darkness. And it's interesting that it's the alpha dragon and talking about harnessing the divine masculine power of creation, because also we have to remember too that the divine mother is also the symbol of creation. So again, that divine power, the masculine and the feminine, and bringing the balance of that energy right now. I'm feeling like I need to bring another card here. Hey, Jody, wanted to say hi and see if you wanted to say hi or say anything, and feel free to unmute. There's not very many of. Hey, Beverly, did you want to say hi? You unmuted.
Yes, look, this is my dragon.
Oh my gosh! No way! Woohoo!
Yeah, his name's David.
His name is David?
Yes.
Come on.
I didn't name him. He came with that name. He was bought for me for Christmas.
Oh my gosh. So look at what another beautiful synchronicity. Oh my gosh.
And talking of synchronicities, I got manifestation. I think, can you see that?
Yes. That's the man.
So that's what I've had this week. And I did have one of those, but it was so quick that I couldn't count the sides on it because it flashed.
Well, so, that's pretty interesting because yeah.
More. Number 4 with balloon. That came up. And this one. Can you see that one?
Yes, this like yes.
Which it could be the sun, but there was all symbols around that. But obviously, because I'm not familiar with symbols, I couldn't remember them all. There was hundreds of them. And then the last 2 I've had was the half shadow face. So I take that to mean shadow work.
That even feels like the magpie. It almost feels like that black and white energy too. That yet the shadow.
I got was the 8 of diamonds.
8 of diamonds.
Ace.
8. Oh, ace. Not 8. Ace.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ace.
So I've
8.
had quite a few this week. Lots coming through.
That's a lot of symbols you got there, and some of those symbols look an awful lot like a bunch I've drawn, and every one of those told me a little story as you held them up. So I want to remind everybody too that when you guys are looking at these and stop the video, you know, when you rewind this later, stop the video and take a look at those symbols that she drew, because there's a reason why they're being shared with all of you, and they're all very, very activating little stories. And the ones that you had on the other page too, I have a page on my website that there's very similar symbols. So we were talking about, as Dave mentioned, the number 15 manifest symbol there on the end. Yeah. And how similar many of these symbols that we're finding and drawing, we're finding they're not new, but they're old. Were they reminders from Sirius about things that we've already experienced? I think so. I think part of them are wake up calls.
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
I think it's asking me to, it's giving me the work to do, and then I've got to do my homework.
yes. And actually, isn't that time now where everybody's in, you know, in this place where you're all home now, we're all home now, having to do our homework.
Yeah.
We're homework, our homework, guys. Think about it literally. You're doing your homework.
Yeah.
So we cannot continue to give this situation negative energy, because it's only continuing to feed the negativity and the fear of all of this, rather than what we do want, and igniting that fiery dragon energy with us. And look, the opposite, Omega dragon, it's a white dragon. Harness the divine feminine power of creation. You guys, come on, you can't make it up. Seriously? Intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. Harness the divine feminine power of creation. Alpha and Omega, black and white. You can't make this shit up, you guys. I'm sorry, seriously. Alpha and Omega, harnessing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And this one, she's sitting on what looks to be a full moon and a spiral galaxy in her belly. Divine masculine and feminine balance. Is that also right in the description of this hangout? In the description of this video is exactly what I put on there. The other reason for these hangouts, these webinars, is to rebalance the divine feminine masculine within each and every one of us, which in turn will bring the balance back to the entire collective consciousness. I cannot believe I pulled both of these cards, you guys. You really seriously can't make this stuff up. I'm blown away. I surprised myself. Yeah, thank you. Good job. Louder. Yes. I love the sound of that. It makes me want to sing light languages. I might have to do that, but except for my voice is a little scratchy today. Excuse me. Anybody else want to say hi? Thank you so much for sharing your dragon. Hey, and the fact that it was the same color as the first card I pulled, and his name is David. Come on.
My buddy the dragon.
Yeah. Now, see? His buddy the dragon. So you guys are awesome. Is there any questions or anything? Or I just want to see if there's any questions out there. Okay, good. I'm just going to wrap it up with a couple more readings.
Jody
here.
says she's not sure how to work with Zoom.
Oh, Jody, there is, if you hover over
Can we
the,
unmute her?
here, let me see if I can unmute you. Yes, I'll unmute you. Okay, you're unmuted. When you're in Zoom, there is a little, on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there's a little audio button, a little microphone and a little camera. And down there is where you can turn your camera on and off, and where you can unmute yourself. There you are. Good girl.
Hi.
Hey. Sorry, I didn't see your message earlier. Hey, how are you? I'm so happy you're here.
I'm good.
Hi. Oh my God.
I don't have a costume, but I have a
She's got, oh, I love it. Oh, look at the crystals, you guys. Tell me about those crystals. What is it?
angel aura.
Angel aura.
Yeah. I got it for Christmas.
Oh
so
my
I'm
God.
not exactly sure what type of angel aura, but
That's pretty.
it's an angel aura crystal.
You know what? I've got another deck back here, which is angels and ancestors. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm so happy you're here. This is the first time you've been to a hangout, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm so happy. So you guys, this is Jody Reiki Medium. She's the one who's always Reiki Medium 3333. She's always commenting and everything. And thank you so much for all of your sharings and all of your wonderful messages to Dave and I. It really means a lot. Wow, you guys, look, great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. We're definitely learning from our spiritual experiences right now, aren't we? Wow, what a beautiful, thank you, Jody, for that inspiration. And the back of the card is the owl. And we've got the sacred geometry too behind the dove. And we've got doves out here that I was listening to. Well, every day I listen to them, but we've got doves out here, and how I was talking about how the doves mate for life, and how I love to hear their song, and how when they're around us, they remind us of our divinity. They remind us of this gentleness, of peace. Of course, the dove, is our symbol for peace, and the olive branch, and carrying the olive branches. So, but what I wanted to reiterate right now, you guys, is that the teachers of the teachers, you are all great teachers. We are all tapping into the great teacher within us. You're all, if you're here in this room, watching this video, even if you click on it for 2 seconds, you are a great teacher. We are all the great teachers right now. The teachers of the teachers, if you've been with me for a little while, I've been saying that, because you are learning. We are all learning from the spiritual experience. And the angels are our ancestors. Our ancestors are our angels. These are our guides. These are, this is a time when we're all being asked to hold space for each other. And I can't believe the next card, holding space, and it's the Druid. And we were just talking about the Celtics, the Celtic energy, and how the ties into all of that, and the Druid card, this wisdom, and he's holding his walking stick. There's a crystal at the top. It's got feathers and fur. And he's got what appears to be a tattoo, but I can't really make out exactly the tattoo. And this idea of just this ancient wisdom, like it feels like another great teacher holding the space. And so I wanted to say that that's what we do here. Why? And I even think that's in my description of this as well. Holding the space, creating a sacred space for each other. This is what we're all doing for each other right now too. We're holding sacred spaces for each other, to comfort each other, to help each other see the wisdom from the spiritual journey, and holding the space for each other. And holding this space is and even on Wednesdays, I want to thank all of you guys too for the Wednesdays, that you guys were hanging out with us on Wednesdays. It's all about holding the space. And how many times you guys have said to me, thank you for holding this space for all of us to gather. And that's what this is all about right now too, you guys, is about holding space for each other together, whether it's online, whether it's in your home. Make dinner for each other, start doing things, bring back some of the old things that we stopped doing, and bring yourselves together and hold spaces in ways that we haven't before. You know who in your lives and your families that you can gather with safely, and I'm just going to leave it at that, and that light a candle, play cards, play board games, listen to music, dance, get your shamanic drum out, make a video, start a YouTube channel, get on Facebook. I wanted to say hi to my friend Elena. She's been in these Hangouts. And many times I wanted to say hi to her. And she was out there on Facebook the last couple of days live. She's never done it before. And this is part of what we do here for each other, is to look for supporting each other to go be that alpha omega, to go be that dragon energy, to go be creative. And so I wanted to give her a big thumbs up for stepping outside of her comfort zone, for asking me for support to get out there and do it. And that you don't have to buy a Zoom room unless you want to host these things. And unless you want to broadcast live with other people in the room, you guys don't need to do that in order to speak your truth. Turn on Facebook, turn on YouTube, go live and just talk. And so I wanted to commend her for that, because it's the first time really that she's tried something new, a new beginning, a new way, and expressing herself in a new way, right from her home, right from her kitchen, just being herself. So that's what this is all about too, is creating and holding a space, even if it's holding your own space on YouTube or Facebook, to let somebody else out there know you're not alone, that I'm out there, I'm here. And every time you guys make a comment on these videos, whether it's during the live chat, after the live chat, a week from now, it doesn't matter. It adds something new that was never there before for me. It's part of my spiritual journey. It helps give me the fire to continue to do this. Even on days when we don't feel our stellar selves, to remind ourselves we don't have to be perfect to show up. So I love your moon cup too, by the way. I just saw the moon and the stars on your cup. So, and lastly, this last card, Sage. It's interesting. We were just discussing Sage, Dave and I, the other day. Be devoted and committed. And you guys, you're not going to believe this. Okay, see, this is why I had to pull this card. Look what's in his hand. It is a quill, pen, and it is a peacock feather. I have a peacock feather quill right behind me on the shelf that Dave bought for me. And I had my peacock feathers on last night in the video. So thank you, Jody. She's shaking her head going, yeah. So peacock feathers, if you guys missed the video yesterday, we just did it. I just wanted to do an impromptu video yesterday. And we were in our cup of inspiration in our peacock shirts, and he's holding the peacock feather. And I just put this up here, the peacock feather, right before the hangout. So look at all these feathers in the quill. Again, the quill in the dragon's hands, reminding all of you guys, the greatest power is in the lightest touch of the feather, to write down your experiences, your spiritual experiences that you're having right now. Get yourself a quill pen, you know what, or go use a feather. This is all about recording your experiences so that you can see the wisdom that we have all gained from this experience. And so you be devoted and committed right now to being the sage. Even the look in his eyes right now is loving and kind, and like just this idea of unconditional love, and writing down, being devoted and committed to recording we talked about this last week too, about being devoted to recording what's going on right now. And I'm talking to myself too, because my guides have been telling me the same thing, that I have all these beautiful journals that Dave has bought me that are still, I'll do it later. So I'm just like you guys too. It's like, I should do this. I should do this. Instead of putting away the dishes, go write in your journal, because you know what? The dishes will still be there, but you'll probably never write in that journal. So this is a message for me as well, from my guides and angels, as well as to all of you. So
maybe the dishes will magically get cleaned.
maybe they will. So I love all of you guys. I want to give everyone else, I want to give all of you the opportunity to talk. I know that the purpose of all of this is to be interactive. And once again, guys, I love, Jody, thank you for bringing your crystal tiara. I'm just so excited. I love it so much. But this is what I'm talking about, you guys. It's, you know what? I mean, you got to, you know, bring your Batman coffee cup, bring it. It doesn't matter. It's about bringing you and us holding the space for you to bring you. And that's all. So it's no different than we were doing before. It's just an expansion of that. And Dave and I get to play. I get to wear these fun costumes. I get to do things I've never done before. I get to come out of my own shell, come out of my own box, you know, and be that multidimensional me, and bring out that genie, bring out that goddess, bring out the oracle, bring out the Mother Gaia, bring out the Mother Bear, bring out the peacock in us. You know, it's about all of that for me and all of you. So I'm doing it right along with you. I'm just as scared as the rest of you. So don't think otherwise. As Dave always reminds me, you know, practice makes perfect, and doing something you're afraid to do, or doing it scared, doing it through the perceived pain, if you will. Pain is just resistance. And I asked my guides today, help me again, release my resistance to my own fire. Help me release my resistance to my own being, to my own dragon, my own god and goddess. And, but to be in grace and in gratitude while doing so. And so to remind us that really, if we think about those, I think about like the martial arts, for example, and I think about the quietness of martial arts, that there's no need to be boastful or loud, that you're moving and using the energy that's already there. You're using your focus, your mind, your heart. It's a power you don't want to have to use, but knowing you have it is all that matters, that the lightest touch does carry the greatest power. And that those great teachers, sages, they spoke their truth, but they were graceful, they were compassionate, non-judgmental, they were kind and loving and accepting. And yet we admired the power that they had in that quiet grace. And that all of us maybe are being asked right now to summon our quiet grace, and that working toward what we do want is far more effective and speaks volumes than standing and screaming on a soapbox about things you don't want. There is far less power in that than there is in embracing and being the example and living in the energy of what we do prefer. That is what the power behind our creation and our thoughts. So I love that. Beck says there's a huge theme with Christmas here, and that's very funny because we just watched a Christmas video the other day that Dave had made for kids in his family, including AJ. And it's really funny. We just watched it, like a couple of days ago, and we were just talking about Christmas and Santa and reindeer and magic, and that the shaman used the reindeer as the conveyance, the bridge between the realms. And and magic. And we were just talking, I think it was yesterday, about Santa and magic and how he gets to all the houses at one night. And so it's a metaphor, you guys, for all of this and all of us, and abundance, 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 abundance.
A couple of us.
So what do we got? Oh, hey, Deb. I want to say hi to Deb and Steph. Hey, lots and lots of comments. Lots of, I love it. Hey, Florentine. I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for being here. She says, wait, oh, I have collected bird feathers and a dream catcher and making a dream catcher. Thank you for saying that. So Florentine has given us lots of great ideas about energy boxes and things. And so I wanted to say, reiterate what she just said in the live YouTube chat. She's collecting feathers to make her own dream catcher. And that's another synchronicity, which there's going to be more Native American and indigenous ideas coming through in future webinars here. And that's a very big synchronicity because I just received something from Dave this week that has a dream catcher on it. And I also have a dream catcher, lots of Native American information and energy, shamanic energy this week that I've been receiving as well. So very synchronistic that you talked about making a dream catcher. So I want to remind everybody too that collecting feathers, we talked about that before, about the energy that we can use to communicate with our feathered friends, our angelic friends, simply by collecting feathers. And so by making your own dream catcher out of them, that brings in the energy and the permission to your guides to say, I want to receive more energy and I want to receive more information in my dreams. We just talked about secret information. The card said secret information. Bringing to allow that secret information to come through in our dream states. And in these sacred spaces that we connect with each other when we're having dinner with each other. And Dave and I, we light candles every night at dinner. It helps us remind ourselves that we're inviting the angels to dine with us, that we're inviting the light, that we are inviting the highest vibrational energy. And I even said that to myself today. I want to embody the highest possible vibration version of myself. That's what I want to bring every day. And even if we act or speak in a way that we aren't proud of, that in that moment, though, we have that moment to decide, I want to be the better version of myself. I want to be the highest version of myself that I can possibly be in this moment. That doesn't mean you're perfect. The highest version that of yourself in that moment may be something that you don't prefer, but if that's the highest you can be in that moment, that's okay too. And that's another thing that I wanted to say about speaking our truth. And even that Dave said to me today, you know, I love you in all of your expressions and versions of yourself, even if it was one that I wasn't proud of. So acceptance and love and creating that sacred space is also about creating a sacred space for each other, for yourself. It doesn't have to be for a group of people either. It's about creating that space for yourself and for connecting and being that bridge with yourself. So lots of really wonderful messages coming through this week and today and through all of our animal archetypes, the dragon, the bear, the angels, the movies, Thor, Hermes, Mercury, Isis, Wonder Woman, Batman. You know, we are our own power. We are our own source of information. We are our own bridge to our higher selves. And so I encourage all of you to intend to be the highest vibrational versions of yourselves, and that we can be today. And when we're going out in the world and we're seeing things we don't prefer, or maybe something's not available that we want, taking all of the things that we talked about today and bringing that into that moment and reminding ourselves, how do I want to behave in this moment? How can I change the collective consciousness? How can I make all of this different and better by the way I'm going to respond right now? Even if it's to yourself, even if it's to yourself, if you're standing there complaining because you're seeing an empty shelf, even that thought has a vibration that changes the collective consciousness. So this is what we're talking about too. It's not just about talking, it's about being. It's about how are you being? How are you moving through the world? How are you, when you leave these hangouts, how are you bringing this energy into what you're doing every day? How are you bringing it into your world, your space, your children, your relationships? So what else? What else? I've been talking so long. Who else wants to say something before we should probably close up? My gosh, we've probably been already on here for like, what, an hour and a half. So I can talk and talk and talk. I love you guys so much.
2 hours.
Going on 2 hours. The last card I see is the moon card, you guys. So moon, isn't that funny? So, and this is not even the moon oracle. So all of a sudden I saw it laying there, the moon. Take note of intuitive messages. So let's just leave it at that today. Take note of intuitive messages. And there's our moon and our moon cycles. So this just reiterates, you guys, get out there and look at the moon. And that's part of our homework. And I have to say, thumbs up to our friend Stephanie for doing her homework. She went out in the full moon. She sent me a message to let me know she was out there doing her work and that she was waiting for those messages. She's listening for those messages and that secret information. And so use your permission slips, use all of this information as permission to be more of yourselves and to invite in that higher version of yourself and the information to become and receive that information and connect with that. So, wow, I think I'm done talking for today. Does anybody else have something they'd like to say before we go off the air, or any blessings, comments, messages, anything at all? Happy to let you all talk while I take a drink of water. And bless our waters. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
I can do some light language if you want me to.
Sure, that would be great. Leave us with a light language blessing, and I think I'll leave us with a blessing as well if anybody doesn't have any other comments. Thanks to all of you for your contributions, your comments in the YouTube before and after this video, even after it's all over. I love seeing all your comments after you if you've gotten the opportunity to watch it. Thank you so much for all of you for tuning in. And even if you can only watch a few minutes at a time, I know whatever information you hear is for you. It always is. And thank you to all of you for being my teachers and my guides. I don't ever want you to think that I am anything you're not, because we are all gods and goddesses, and we're just here to remind each other of that and to help us, each of us, see each other's light. So with that, please do, Beck, Niasova, Shate, thank you so much for being here and lending your artwork, all of you, and Jody for being here, and AJ and Stefan, and of course, Dave and Beck, all of you for your artwork and your symbols. Thank you for sharing that with humanity.
And happy Goddess Friday.
And happy Goddess Friday. And if you've missed it, you can see the replays of the previous Goddess Fridays to talk about how Goddess Friday came about, how it's a real thing, how we really do honor the goddess on Fridays, how we were inspired to do this and why. And Dave's wonderful graphic work and his trailers and he's working on my website now. So always new things coming up on my website. Please do visit the channel and let us know you're out there. And we're automating things more and more every day. So please do sign up on the website so that we're building the email list so that we can start doing things a little bit more automated to help all you guys know when we're putting new content out. So thank you for subscribing to the channel and putting the reminders on for these videos so that you know they're coming. Thank you for sharing them with all of your friends. And I don't really share stuff on social media, so I appreciate all of you spreading the word, letting people know about these hangouts and my videos, and just saying thank you means everything to me. And I thank all of you really from the most divine places of me that you guys teach me, and I love that you're always showing me your love and gratitude. So I appreciate that, and all your love, your donations, the time you spend with me and your services and your private sessions. And if it wasn't for me putting myself out there on YouTube and And actually, even at the time, I really wasn't even actually say I was doing private sessions, but only by request. I didn't have a website yet. I had nothing really out there other than the description in my YouTube channel about doing private sessions. And had I not done that, I would have never met Dave. So I want you guys to understand that sometimes doing it scared and putting yourself out there, even if I would have had no idea that 5 years ago starting this channel would lead me to where I've come today, and that I would be that it would lead me to where and who it led me to. And so we never know when that yes card is going to come up. We never know when that yes answer. And maybe that was my answer from all those years ago, that maybe that was my answer, that yes, it was here for me, that everything I've ever wanted was already here. And I just had to become the vibration of it. So I wanted to reiterate that, because sometimes when we're afraid to put ourselves out there, we just don't know whose life is going to change, and it could just be yours. So with that said, I thank all of you. Thank you, Beck. And if you'd like to leave us as well with a light language blessing, and thank you, all of you. Sevasote asha atayani la coseta yashanote ipala kesanose sate. This is show and tell. Bring your stuff, bring your artifacts, bring your relics, bring your crystals, bring your love, bring your oracle cards, and just have fun with us. Niatoya. Thank you, Beck. Go for it. And I'm just going to let her take us off the air today with her light languages. And thank you all again. Thanks, Beck. And we'll talk to you all soon. See you next week, and watch for more videos from me and Dave and all of you here. Liato. Go for it, Beck.
Well, I just want to say thank you for holding space as well for this as well, because it's just beautiful and sacred. And I think it's gorgeous that you get loads of gifts. I mean, like, that's really like when people put the heart into things, isn't it? Like, they've really thought about it. So it's like, it makes me want to cry, that, because I just think
I'm glad that you said that, Beck, because someone had asked me, a couple people asked me, I have taken the PO box off of my website. So if you still have it, that PO box is no longer in use. There is an address where you can send me things right here to the house. It's on our website. It comes right to the house here. So you guys feel free. Yes, you can send me things. Someone asked earlier in the chat where they can send me something. So that's why I brought it up. So thank you, Beck, for reminding me about that. So yes, please do. I've also got, you can call. There's, I think, a phone number on there too. I think I was like, oh, I've already forgotten. So yes, and I agree with you, Beck, that there's something very energetically wonderful about receiving things from each other. So thank you. I love you all. So.
It's an activation with a blessing, I'm being told. So I'm seeing white, and I'm getting Archangel Gabriel through. And I'm being told it's purity and peace. I'm seeing a bird of ascension, and it's to lift us up. So if you imagine yourself standing and you've got all this fog, this mist, this cool, crisp air around you, and it's white, and it's just surrounding you. You can feel it on your skin, and it's glistening. It's quite snow-like. And just imagine that penetrating through the skin and into the body, and a silver spiral from the ground going around and around and around into the energy, into your energy. Arada de Asia that I ore de Asia that I de oyo. Roto de Asia that ea that de Asia that oyo to. Roto to Asia that era. Roto to Asia that ara to oyo roto to Asia that handar koto ko. Harosha to era that ya to yara to yasha. Rosto sho yata de yasha ayato o de asara de yasha arato to o sho de yasha dara araka da karaka oro Orotototoroto, rotototoroto, esha darakasha karaka. Roto te esha dara ado, osoroto ushia darata a. To te eshandara ke asa karakoshodoro o. Oroso shodo shodoro shorosho do sho dorosha te esha. Da esha darakata koso korok odoro. Oroso kokia sanamasana shedara a. Orotoko shandarata esarata ore tate shandata karo o. Ese she de ese de e shendada asakaro o. Ere shendara a. Omoshon toto sukri itatata surot o yoto o. Oroso te eshe dada kasa karo o. Ike sashata eke. Ekaya sakukoya sakakai. Ai te e da a sakarakai. Da a she e da ai.
Atia ina sivaso I mariano ma kala shete. Sivason hate la ama iana. Ate beato kora shatatea te atmoa te aotea kasaseto I mayeta. Thank you for that beautiful message, Beck. Yavoko shena setia. Iana hi ianua iato. Iato ya ilaka senase senasetia. Speak your heart, Niashote. I love you all. Yakoya.